Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Let's continue. So, took us an hour in the last recording to get to the point where we even could leave the city, because of a fairly difficult platforming section, which I do have this thought that what might be going on here is, since I had to force VSync and lower this to 60 frames per second, we may find that really this game should be run more at 30 frames per second, or perhaps 58 or 59 frames per second, and that may be an excuse. Wow, that was a high explosion. This is the same area without the foreground and background jumping as the previous game. So they're trying to have a kind of recognizable area. They don't want you to feel like you're in a completely different world, for the moment at least. I think they'll probably fairly quickly get us into a pirate ship and into new lands. Otherwise, this game is going to be fairly redundant, and I don't know how you could sing its praises in that case. It does feel like the game is definitely a little bit speedier compared to the Game Boy Advance previous game. It feels like the audio is possibly playing a few more samples, that there's a few more enemies here. I think the camera has also zoomed out a little bit, so we're not seeing as small of a screen. Let's see. And I have yet to see any, like, chests. There may not be chests in this game, considering how the heart upgrades seem to be built, just left out to be collected. Either that, or we're just gonna get some new ability. Alright, so this guy shoots energy out, so the Y lamp does not suck out that energy. Also, I think the game is not going to drop hearts anymore, where previously it would kind of erroneously drop hearts as a thing. Yeah, I can't make that jump yet. I need some kind of gliding ability. That wasn't as hard as the first little tutorial section. One assumes we are now going to the forest with these guys, which now take 4 hits, so either I'm going to need to upgrade my attack or do something else. Although it may very well also be a case that, like, this seems to be a little bit slower and less likely to just get a cheap shot on you. But these guys seem to be modified so that they do get more cheap shots on you, so they've kind of balanced the whole system. The spiders fall down slower, where they were very much an instant fall previously. It's not really a good system right now for me to be able to get multiple hits on a character when they're flying up, so you have to basically see their whole cycle once. And only when I need health am I getting health, which is nice, which means we're gonna get coins fairly quickly here. And this whole, yeah, I'll have to have some kind of double jump ability at some point, or monkey climb. Probably getting the monkey ability. Yeah, you can get like 2 hits through, but you're not going to be able to get 2 hits in the air. And this may just be a case of the game still running a little fast. Now we're in Sequin Land Palace, which is not where we would have been before. Like, I was expecting more to see Roddy Tops or the girl with the dog and the cooking. Instead, we have Bolo here being surrounded by a bunch of zombie girls, which I guess zombies are not discriminated against so much. How do you talk to him? Bolo, what are you doing here? And we can hear that we're probably going to talk to Bolo a lot, thus they've voiced it. Everyone in Scuttletown thinks I'm a screw-up, so I'm picking up odd jobs at the palace. Painting fences, installing locks, and whatnot. And now you're babysitting? Oh, the undead kids? Nah, they're just here to chew the fat. Mine. I can't escape. Got any flesh pops on you? I need 3 of them. Can you find them in the sewers below the palace? So we're getting a side challenges. It's worth mentioning that we have a summons to potentially be thrown in jail and have our hair cut off as our weapon because we attacked Ammo Baron, who was the rightful owner, legally speaking, of the city, even though he was destroying the city. We have gotten library card from our friend, which I can't even remember her name. I know her bird is named Wrench, but I don't know what her name is. Where you need 1 more squid to forge another health. We have 2 magic, which we don't know what we're going to do with. We are in a different area, I guess, so we have a different map. And here we have something that would restore health, and a pike ball, and a bunch of potions that we purchased. So, it seems like we're gonna probably eat a lot of lobster tail. And I can't go down the sewers at the moment. And I guess hi is gonna be used a lot. Sigh. What's up, sir? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just flummoxed because I dropped something very important down the drain. You see, I'm a traveling brochure salesman. That's a very interesting profession. You must have seen some exciting things in your travels, huh? Travels? I've lived here in front of the palace my whole life. Well, I thought you said. Your generation makes me sick with your arrogance. I'm not a brochure salesman who travels. No, I sell traveling brochures. I got that, but I guess maybe I misinterpreted the joke. And I dropped my last vacation brochure down this drain. Disgusting. But we don't have an attack, and when she squeezes down you can see her butt shakes. And I assume pressing up wouldn't do anything. And I assume we're not supposed to press up on any of these windows. Now there's a whole B button. And here's the guy. Oh fuss, oh fret.
Squid Baron.
We're gonna talk to Squid Baron. Honestly, we may not talk to these characters that much. They may have just had more room in the 3DS cartridge to have more voice acting. Haven't seen you in a while. What's the matter? Oh, you know, post-boss syndrome. Now that you've embarked on a new adventure, I feel I'm destined to become some kind of filler boss. I'm not sure I follow. You know, I was a major enemy last time, but this time, I just feel like we're gonna have to battle again, just to round out the package. Package? You wouldn't understand, Sai. I need to get away, someplace warm. Maybe it's time for a vacation for Squid Baron. A change of perspective could do you good. Say, you might be onto something. I've always had a fairly flat view of the world. Kind of staring at the same 4 walls, you know? Repetitive, high-stress music. I could use a change of scenery. There you go. If you can think of a good vacation spot, please let me know. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go cry in the corner. Poor guy. So we're in the Ye Royal Sewers. So let's just see what this is. Oh me, oh my, that blue-haired lad installed a new lock backwards, upside down and inside out. Now we're trapped inside without a royal gate key. Sob sob. Okay, so we have a secondary mission. And definitely different music here. What is the jump down button? Oh. Like absolutely no button lets you jump down from these platforms, so I'm gonna have to just guess that you can't do that in this game. And that feels odd, to say the least. We got a flesh pop. It's funny that you need 3 flesh pops because I think there were 4 zombies. So why wouldn't you want 1 for each? Seems like they may have gotten a little too video gamey with it and decided to go with the Nintendo 3 collectibles concept beyond this. And those break real nice. Although I'm not sure. I should have broken them. Yeah, it doesn't slide. Oh wait, there's a chain in the middle. It was right in front of my face. So you kind of have some limiting experience right now, but I imagine that's going to change. And you probably will be able to push some form of these boulders at some point, or you'll be able to crush them with the elephant. Found a Heart Squid. I think the music's a little intense. We may have to hit a point here where I decide to turn it down. This doesn't feel like it's a particularly long. This may just be a tutorial dungeon, really. Let's see, we have that. And I'm about to die, so interesting. So we'll eat that to get our health back. And she does a little belly dance when you use the lamp, but that's not gonna work to do anything. Yeah, I would need monkey or something to get there. So it seems to me like they've run us around a small tutorial area to show you that you can't do something. And just for certainty's sake, we'll see that you can't jump over him. So the only thing we got were the flesh pops, and I guess I was wrong, there is only 3 of them, so. Hey, flesh pops. Did you get those for me? Nope. Oh, just leave me here to die then. I'm gonna say no to everything because there was an achievement for saying no that I missed in the previous game. Although there was a lot of achievements in the previous game that I was just unlikely to actually get. Awesome sauce, these will do the trick. By the way, if you're heading up to the palace, return this royal gate key, will you? Some idiot must have lost it. Gross, it's covered in bite marks. Yeah, I found it in my mouth an hour ago. Here you go. So Bolo does seem to be a fairly dumb person. And the gate key has a big old tag on it, when I would have just animated that as a bigger thing. And he doesn't do anything with the pops in the zombies. Could it be you have a royal gate key? Would you pass it through to me? No. Then all is truly lost. You gave the gate key. Ah, it is a thing of beauty. Now I can unlock this, unfasten that, reattach, and there. Sequin Land Palace is once again open to the public. Please come inside. So you'd be to talk to him. Welcome to Sequin Land Palace. And I guess I'm not gonna just immediately get thrown in jail. I hear the Sultana is traveling. I worry when she is so far from the palace. Sultana, so do they have a princess type sultan? What does that smell? Oh, this is not my armor. You can't grab the bottom of these chandeliers where that ring makes it seem like you would be able to do that and swing or something. The Royal Library, through this door and across the hall. So we're going to the Royal Library to get the map for Risky Boots. Seems like at some point you might be able to jump up through that or fall down through that. And a very simplistically designed palace with just one straight path to the library, and that's it. A visitor. Let's have a look at you. Ho ho ho, this library card doesn't fool these old eyes. Used to come here all the time. The relic hunter's daughter, right? Yes, well, he's my uncle. And what is this? A court summons? You gave the summons. It says here that, scissors, jigsaw, goat mouth. What? They mean to cut off that long, winsome hair? That will never do. Why don't I just file these papers away until the Sultana returns? I'd like to give you a knowing wink now, but sadly my eyelids no longer work. Looking at this guy, who is just a new character, his glasses aren't like attached to anything, so he has like two monocles basically. That feels like the animation was unfinished, but otherwise he looks fine as a character, although he does also look like he's sitting down in the zoom, where he's clearly standing in the smaller versions. Please take whatever you came for. Thank you very much. So everybody does seem to be fairly enamored with Shantae. Even the bad guys seem to like Shantae fairly well. The hollow globe contains a secret. You got the Forbidden Isles map.
Oh yeah.
Interesting oh yeah sound effect. Keep your chin up, young lady. You have friends all around you. Good luck. And see, that's exactly what I was saying. And I like that. I like the idea. You're introducing a new character into a series. It is something people really want to do, is you want to fall in love with a character. In all fairness to Mario in Donkey Kong, or Jumpman in Donkey Kong, not really a lot of characterization there, but not necessarily in that date and time of like the 80s did you really need that characterization. But after that point, Nintendo invested a ton of time and effort in secondary material to make Mario a thing. Like, people would not still be talking about Mario even today if it weren't for the fact that there was Mario cartoons, Mario comic books, Mario just continuing in every game to expand as a character and not really even grow as a character, but just maintain his likability. And never in a Mario game has Mario become the real bad guy. Never has Mario done something like hugely objectionable. If I had had more gold, I should have gotten the flares that would have just transported me to the city, because this would have been like the perfect time to do that. But a little grinding isn't going to hurt me. I am getting extra hearts, so maybe I've maxed out on the amount of coins when I hit 100. Yeah, it does kind of seem like 100 might be the maximum. Nope. We're now to 101. I got a super pike ball. The fact that you're getting items also is a great justification for grinding. We've yet to see if there's any jams in this game though, so I don't know if we're gonna even upgrade anything the way we could before, and if we're gonna need jams to accomplish that upgrade. This is the save guy, which I probably should save, but whatever. This is the shop. Alright, so pirate flare. Buy some pirate flares. Auto potions. I don't have enough cash for that. Alright, well. I'm still very much broke by the store standards. And here we have the dominatrix hammer lady, who's a new character. Skulltown Squidsmith at your service, or Sir Vice. I take adorable little squids and melt them down to make more health for you. See, no way. See, I don't know if they're doing puns with the way she talks, or if they're trying to give her an accent. There's your max hearts have increased by 1. See, and when you see her do that hammer attack, you kind of expect, well, she should be a boss at some point, obviously. But instead they've just introduced her as a kind of unimportant character at the moment. And over here, I think, is just the Prairie Fountain. And I don't think there's actually anything in this room. We could try and give back the library card. I got what I needed, thanks. Gave the library card. Look, I know you caught all the blame for what happened with the ammo barons, so I sold off some of my warbirds to help you bounce back. Whoa, Sky, this is your entire nest egg. You collected 100 monies. Interesting they're called monies. I would definitely have gone with rupees. Alright, well, then that does... If we hadn't returned the library card, we probably wouldn't have gotten that. Alright, so that puts us in a good position as far as items. Monster Milk temporarily increases your attack, so there may be an upgraded version of Monster Milk. Auto potions will auto revive you. Regular potions, pirate flares will return instantly to the port. Super Pike Ball seems to be about the only attack option, so I think we're probably in this game losing some of the magic attacks that I never really even used, like the Fireball and the Cloud attack. Well, what took you so long? I found this at the library, a map of the Forbidden Isles, just like you said. I guess the little good for nothing is good for something after all. You gave Forbidden Map. So will you let me help? Only if you agree to do exactly what I say when I say it. The pirate master is my foe to contend with, not yours. And when this is over, we go our separate ways. See, I could even see at some point us actually playing as Risky Boots. Like, her bandana could be used as a whip, as an attack. It's not as long, but I could see that. Or she could just have like a pirate gun, although she doesn't have one on her hip. And you definitely can see that that was a artistic decision to not give her a gun or a weapon or a knife or anything like that. To have the original Shantae games be more kid-friendly, but now that this is a Teen Plus game, it would be reasonable to understand that. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's a deal. Let's beat this guy together and save Sequin Land. Hold on. How do I know you won't pull a fast one? Would I lie to you? Say hello to the steam-powered Oceanic Tinker Tub Mark II. So in the first Shantae game, it's worth mentioning that the MacGuffin that was stolen by Risky Boots was a steam-powered engine, and the first of this world's ever invention of a steam-powered engine, and she stole it and clearly somehow never got it taken away from her, and she's been using it to make her steam-powered ship, or steam-powered ships in general. Mark II, what happened to the first one? You happened to it. Get on board before I change my mind. And so, here she's sitting at the front with a sword in this case. So, there is literally just a level selection this time, and that definitely seems like more levels. And we can see that there is a limited number of the bats that we need to suck the magic out of, and there's a limited number of the heart upgrades. So they may have an issue here where the islands themselves feel fairly small. Islands in general are fairly small, relatively speaking. But then it also may fix the problem that we had in the first game, in which even with the warp zones, which maybe we won't even have the warping element, the little octopus warp pipes, or warp statues, we probably won't have those considering we have the flares. And so that means that we can just stick to one island to do one dungeon and one boss, and then when we're done with that dungeon and that boss, there probably won't be any reason to come back to an island until we have upgraded a lot of like movement abilities to let us collect 100% of everything. Whereas in the previous game, the Risky's Revenge, there was often times where you would warp and you still had to struggle through going through a scene or two that was fairly large, and if you hadn't struggled through that, the game actually would have been fairly short. And but honestly, nowadays a short, older game is more desirable than a longer, stretched out, older game. This is Salvia Island. Unless we can find another map, this is the end of the line. I'm ready for anything. Where did you get those clothes? Below deck, there's all kinds of fun stuff to wear. So you can see she has a slight modification on her appearance. She's wearing a pirate cap, which she probably cut a hole in for her hair. And she's wearing a belt on her leg. Neither of which are depicted as far as the small version. And I don't know if she always had a like gold ring in her bra in the middle there, or if that has changed. And they may have changed her earrings to be thicker. Most of the clothes were much too roomy though. So Apparently there's a cultural thing in this world where they love to wear skin-tight clothes. And these clothes are skin-tight. They're basically, if you had, like, a vacuum to suck all the air out of the clothes so that they are sticking, attached by vacuum to a person's body. Stay away from my personal effects. Gosh, I've never been so far from the mainland. It's pretty here. Don't be deceived, the Pirate Master draws power from this place. There's a den of evil hidden somewhere on this island. Maybe the dungeons are going to be called dens of evil. You're going to find it. What about you? You're not coming? Not this time. But I'm sure if we work together... No, I said no and I meant it. I have my reasons. So she's probably got like an ex-boyfriend on this island she's trying to avoid. They're reusing the poses of Shantae fairly well, and then they've just redrawn everything for different outfits. At a certain point, it really is just boiling down to the artist is having a lot of fun playing dress up with Shantae. You're scared? I skipped a line there. I don't know what it said. How dare you? I will gut you like a mackerel. Jeez, learn to take a joke. And get out of that silly outfit. So, yeah. Aw, you're no fun. Alright. So now we can go back and see. Yeah, the difference is just the bandana. The actual coat was the same. The leg belt was different. The earrings were the same. The gold ring on the bra was the same. Oh, you're no fun. Yeah, there's definitely a problem here though, because my eye is so drawn to the colorful imagery of Shantae that I'm having a hard time just turning to the right and reading the text. Red to go. And I guess maybe we could talk to her. And that will give you maybe a hint. So, yeah. We can leave at any point we want to. Alright, so that guy has a distance attack that I can't fling back to him. So I'll need to be fairly careful. This is a death pit. The good news is it flung me forward when I took that hit. And I had a considerable amount of invincibility frames after that point. And here we have the mermaids are back. They still are a weird cycle, the mermaids. A little bit of a pain. And they're gonna make me struggle to get in, and then by the time we are done with this island, I imagine we'll be perfectly situated to easily escape. That time, because I was hit, I was knocked back. The mermaids in this game compared to the previous one do seem to cycle faster, at least when at a lock 60, right? I really wouldn't be surprised if I am actually just playing this game running 5-10% faster than it should be. Here we've got these little vampire bats. Well, let's see what this is. Are we straight up gonna have a boss fight so early? That seems weird. I wonder what this statue is for. So we gotta figure out what to do with this statue, which probably means we have to collect 4 things to put on the pillars. If I'm not careful, I am gonna end up wrecking myself so badly I'm gonna waste potions. But this game is fairly generous as far as, yeah, you have to have some kind of attack that I just don't have to open those. So here we have a sarcophagus, for lack of a better term. I want to look at what this restores. A fair amount of health. Restores a lot of health. Restores tons of health. So I'm at 1.5 hearts. Let's eat that. And meat chunks seem to have been enough to do 1.5 hearts. So that seems like we probably are always going to get full health regardless of what we eat. So we should probably sit on the lobster tails for a while. I guess if they're going to introduce a mummy in this story, that would be interesting, and it would definitely make sense considering how there's already zombies. Sob sob. Many years ago, I came to this island with my beloved bride-to-be. Our only wish was to be joined in holy matrimony. But a horrible monster, a servant of the pirate master, found us. His gaze turned my beloved to stone. Okay, so she's not a mummy. Sigh, I can never leave her side. Here, take this ring so I can finally forget my sorrows. I've gotten the ring. Jeez, it looks pretty old. Mysterious rock between the 4 lily statues. This is where I'm supposed to return the ring. Do we see anything more about the ring? Nope. It's not a usable item. We can say that much. Still fairly easy to take hits. There we go. Get past that part. That part. And that part. So we have plants, flowers. But lilies are white, and these are red flowers. So if each of these are supposed to represent a lily, then let's see what this does. That's odd. There's a circular indentation here. Attach the ring. Let's say no. No response. Attach the ring. The ring clicks into place. You gave the metal ring. And now we have a whole system of flashing lights, which knocks all these into the bikini-laden statues that existed before. Seems like it's a little bit of a combination lock. Oh, that. And that. And that. I don't know if it just let me do that or... Okay. I'm guessing this is not so much a situation of a doing it right as much as it is a situation of doing the timing. So I'm gonna hit this, 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 and this. can't jump on the platforms to get an advantage here. So I need this, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And by the time that gets up there, I'm gonna just try to jump as fast as possible. This might be another example of the game really not designing itself to run at the right speed. One stayed up fairly quickly. This. Just trying as fast as possible, and I cannot get up there. Let's go over here and check this out. Let's talk to some other people. Here we have two explorer blonde girls. Way Forward, making the Mighty Switch Force games, seem to really have a fetish for having four, I believe it was identical quadruplet blonde girls. Hey girl, cute getup, you here for spring break? And see, in this outfit, this feels like a much more modern outfit compared to the Indian, Persian style outfits that we've seen in the game up until this point. Like, you don't get jeans, cut off jeans made without fairly modern technology. And then they've interestingly here not emphasized this character's bust, not given her long hair. They've given her a kind of frumpy hat, not showing the belly button. Still mostly going with a very skinny appearance, but definitely a different emphasis. Huh? Us too, but look at this lame swimming hole. It's all dried up. And then here you have a girl with glasses fetish. You've got twin tails, which is different. She's got a hair bow. They are kind of larger breasts on this character, but still not showing cleavage in a tank top. She's wearing fairly bulky belt and pants which kind of underemphasizes her legs compared to most of the characters, and they're showing her belly. She also has some kind of monocle or ripcord on the side of her from her backpack, and I'm not sure what that's from. I can't sunbathe without a proper pool. Psh, this place was a total ripoff. If we can't swim, we might as well eat. I'll get the ham all set. And so there's probably something we have to spin here. The spell. Where's the manager? That these two are complaining. Pool with no water, what a shame. So this is supposed to be a pool, and I guess this would be a fairy pool to refill you. So we know what we're supposed to do then. We're even getting a little bit of a hint in the fact that there's water dripping from the ceiling there. Right. Red, blue, red, green, 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 red, green. The climbing ability over here is better, too, compared to the previous game. Need to be fairly cautious so that these guys don't kill me. And they do seem to have a wall grab ability, and there's a monster in the water. So I have to be fairly careful around that. And I guess maybe we'll fill in the water, and the water will act as a float to make these statues stay up so that we can get to the other region, the other side of it. These guys do seem to be fairly consistent in where they jump. I don't really see the reason though for the water dragons to pop their head out, other than to just show themselves as a potential boss threat that we're going to run into later, or just to do cheap shots. And that's certainly something that is kind of a legacy idea that this game has not quite still shook. The idea of games being a little bit artificially difficult and unfair in the sense that they will just cheap shot you on a few places, do damage to you that you could not possibly see coming. This is kind of a great example of that, where unless that guy was always programmed to get out of the way, you're going to potentially take some damage. We have a map that we have an arrow that says go this way, so let's go this way. And we can see a different sarcophagus. Snake just dropped from the sky, so I wonder if that's going to happen all the time. Need to be careful. No, I should probably just run. And we'll eat the bento box, which is very Japanese. It's funny, there's definitely Japanese influence of this game, but I just don't think that Way Forward is a Japanese company. Maybe it's like Japanese employees are just heavily influenced by Japanophile workers, but I'm fairly certain Way Forward is not a Japanese company. And in particular, one argument to that is the fact that it has taken them a year to release their Mummy Demastered game that they were hired to make in Japan, and it got pretty bad reviews by Famitsu, because who really wants to play even a good movie spin-off game of a movie that came out probably a year and a half ago and very well didn't come out in Japan at all or do well in Japan. It's a Giga Lummox. Wow, this thing's enormous. What's the sign say? Caution, Giga Lummox may become aroused by travelers smelling of ham. Interesting. And I don't know what they mean by the phrase aroused, but I'm going to take it as sexual arouser until I see some other definition. They may just mean it wakes him up. And here we have one of these guys. I'll start sucking in the dark magic as quickly as possible. And I think that's like the main game. So we fall down here, and we fall down here. So I needed to hit this to maybe I'm supposed to just hit this to smell like ham, or maybe I'm supposed to hit this to get the cloud of ham to get bigger. because I'm not seeing any indication that that is working. And there's like no faster way I can hit my hair against this. You got ham stink. Ah, so you use the lamp. Interesting. I don't think I would have thought of that, frankly. So this. Is that right? Alright. Yeah, if I'm gonna get this to work, you can't reset things, so you have to do this. I need this one, then this one, then I need this one, and then this one last. And then once we get to that point, we can get over here, and that can save us far enough to get to the right side. Of course, the odds of a player knowing that they were needed to get the ham stink first is basically 0. So they're being fairly cheap here by making me run through the entire area a second time. And we've seen that kind of game design before, certainly where in Shantae games, where they're stretching it. And all I want to do is run, but I don't know if I can safely run. Like, odds are kind of low you're gonna get health. We still don't have a long distance attack. Like, unless one of my items has some kind of long distance attack. Can't even attack the dragons if you want to. Okay. So ham stink. How do we use the ham stink? Interesting. I'm just gonna use a potion. They're probably the best move. So the potion gives you +9, so that's either +9 hearts or +9 pips of hearts. But I imagine that's not it. There's no button here that would release the ham stink. So maybe you trigger this. Release the ham stink. Stink it up. Alright. Shantae releases the ham stink. You gave ham stink. And they gave me an achievement. They're still being comedic here. Like, don't think any of the jump jokes in this game are going to have you laughing out loud or drawing. Ew. So now he's drooling, and so now he will fill up the pool, and the spring breakers can swim in the drool. Hey girl, you got the water turned on. Let's all hit the pool. You said it, girlfriend. And now they're changing into bikinis, and so now we can see emphasizing of the cleavage and bust and belly button of that girl. And then they do another cheesecake image here showing another two-piece bikini, which certainly, like, this is always an interesting perspective of, in the real world, women walking around in two-piece bikinis at pools or beaches is perfectly acceptable, yet for some weird reason there are many other situations where a woman walking around in something that shows the equivalent amount of skin as a two-piece bikini is considered unacceptable. Although in all fairness, if I went to an office meeting and was wearing just a swimsuit, that would also be unacceptable. So there might just be a great argument towards time and place arguments. Although the goal, I think, would be to eventually try to be as fair to both genders, or all the genders, at the same time. Yay! What's this? My porcelain baby fresh skin is too much for the sun, so they're acting as reflectors, reflecting lights on the back. I was not expecting that to happen. You'd almost need like a flash forward scene to explain, to say this is your end goal. Mine too, the light is bouncing off of it. Careful not to cross the beams. So they're making like a Ghostbuster reference. Interesting. You got the Petrify spell. So you just learned a spell. And here we have yet another cheesecake image. You did it, the pool is full again, and it smells like bath salts. The water is really, really warm, and it's kind of viscous. So, I guess the general idea is don't let them know that they're swimming in monster drool. You can't talk to these girls. So, that's interesting that they're going to go that far. I don't feel like they would have gone to girls frolicking in bikinis in the previous game, but clearly that's where they wanted this game to go, and this game series to go. So we now have the spell, which will de-petrify the wife, I guess, which maybe will give us some new ability, by the looks of it. I'm not sure what these white dots mean on the map, really. If they're in places of importance, and clearly we've seen a lot of places that we just can't reach at the moment. Here you have your standard 3DS saving, please don't turn the power off. Nintendo response, which, yeah. I've had it with the music enough that I think I'm gonna turn it down to 70 and see how that works. Yeah. Yeah, I think a little bit of a balance there is due. Well, that was another hour, and as far as like square footage that was traveled, we really didn't go that far. We went a distance, considering we hadn't even left the city at the beginning of this episode. But if you compared this to something like doing a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time dungeon, or any of the later dungeons other than Breath of the Wild dungeons, which I think are fairly small dungeons, or at least there are some small areas that are kind of like puzzle dungeons. It doesn't feel like Shantae ever is going to have really in-depth highly detailed multiple screen areas. Instead, they're going to try and keep everything a little bit smaller and more precise. You're not going to run into rooms where there's basically nothing in the room. And yeah, I'm going to still give it the college try as far as the jump puzzles, although I still do kind of feel like maybe if I did lower this down to 30 frames per second, it would slow down the game in a way to make it a little bit easier. Otherwise, I, at the 60 frames per second limitation, kind of question whether this game is just a little too difficult in its platforming, even for a Teen Plus rated game. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.